Joe Biden is pounding Donald Trump for Trump bowing down to Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. I have to tell you, I agree very much with Joe Biden's analysis here. Here is Biden speaking about Trump's recent comments on Putin and NATO and saying, I encourage Russia to attack NATO allies.
It's the responsibility of a great nation, and we are a great nation that the rest of the world looks to. And I mean that, the rest of the world looks to us. The stakes are already high for American security before this bill was passed in the Senate last night. But in recent days, those stakes have risen. And that's because the former president has sent a dangerous and shockingly, frankly, un-American signal to the world. Just a few days ago, Trump gave an invitation to Putin to invade some of our allies, NATO allies. He said if an ally didn't spend enough money on defense, he would encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want, end of quote. Can you imagine a former president of the United States saying that? The whole world heard it. The worst thing is he means it. No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American.
Hard to argue with the analysis. This is all a reference, in part, to the following comments Trump made over the weekend.
They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
And the crowd cheering. Now, there's a historical analysis here to be made. It's not as simple as dictator bad, we offer zero, we are mean to them. OK, if you look back in American history, there are examples of American foreign policy being more conciliatory or cooperative towards authoritarian regimes or dictators. It's often driven by a calculated strategic interest or an ideological alignment or an attempt at diplomatic engagement in order to disabuse them of their dictatorial approach. You could look at FDR's relationship with Stalin during World War II. Stalin, a horrible authoritarian. The US and Soviet Union allied against Nazi Germany. Roosevelt engaged in diplomacy. There was a very specific reason why. Nixon creating an opening with China in the 70s to normalize relationships with China with the idea that maybe there will be a joint effort to counter Soviet influence in the context of the Cold War. So there was like a strategic reason to do it. Or Reagan with the Soviet Union. And Reagan, famously took a hardline stance with the Soviet Union, called it the evil empire, etc. But he also engaged in diplomacy with Gorbachev, and there were arms control agreements, etc. There are ways to do this in a strategic way. Trump's not being strategic. He's just enamored with dictators. That's all it is. It's that simple. And he is just in love letters. He used the term love letters with Kim. It's Putin, it's Duterte, it's, I could give you the full list, and it is very, very scary. Here's a little more from Biden on NATO and on Trump's perspective.
It's un-American. When America gives its word, it means something. When we make a commitment, we keep it. And NATO is a sacred commitment. Donald Trump looks at this as if it's a burden. When he looks at NATO, he doesn't see the alliance that protects America and the world. He sees a protection racket. He doesn't understand that NATO is built on fundamental principles of freedom, security, and national sovereignty. Because for Trump, principles never matter. Everything is transactional.
That is exactly right. Now, I know Biden didn't come up with that. He's right. He's reading it. It's a speech that was written. Transactional is one of the most accurate ways to describe Trump's perspective on all of this stuff. I like that Biden's going after Trump on this. Foreign policy rarely moves the needle when it comes to elections, but Biden is still right to target Trump on this. Trump hates it. Trump doesn't like it. Trump's priority is always just what's best for himself.